Hey y'all, hey, my name is TJ and I'm a Scrum Master. Welcome to my channel, Something Scrummy. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and share and do all of that good stuff. Um, so today we're going to talk about a day in the life of a Scrum Master. Basically, what am I going to do today? As a Scrum Master, every day is different. The only thing that normally stays the same is basically the meetings that are scheduled that day. Otherwise, other things that I plan every day may change. So, one of the meetings that I have scheduled every day, of course, is my daily stand up. I have two teams, so that means I will have two daily stand ups. Another thing that is scheduled for tomorrow is a demo. So, once again, um, I'm new to this team. I guess I forgot, but I am new to this team. I've been with this organization for 4 weeks. The team is new to Scrum, so I am still in the observation phase. Um, Building relationships, getting to know people, observing the ceremonies or the meetings that they have going on. So, and then this is a financial this is a life insurance company. So that's just quick background. But basically, tomorrow a demo is scheduled. So typically, we're used to sprint reviews, but they don't necessarily do a sprint review. They just do a demo, which is a little bit different. So I'm going to observe and see what they have going on. I know during the demo, they show the changes that are made to the website. And then, the stakeholders attend and they, ask questions or talk about certain things. But that's basically it. So this is not a traditional sprint review. One of the next things I will do is basically review my schedule for the next week. I know next week. Okay, so next week for me, with one of my teams, it is so they have 3 week sprints. So week one is development, week two is development, week three is QA and regression. Week four is technically UAT, but they don't call it a week four, they just stop at week three. Week four is UAT, but then they also start week one again of development. So it's week four and week one for that same team. Anyways, so next week for one of my teams, it is QA and regression. And then for my other team, it is UAT or deployment. And then it starts week one again. We had PI planning a couple of days ago. And for my second team, I know we are going to use the developers from the second team um, on my other team because we have a lot of cards that we need to get through. So we need additional resources. So I we're not going to do sprint planning, I believe, because they're not going to have a sprint. They're just going to move over to the other team. But even still, for my other team that is in week three QA regression, I do know the developers, they do personal development, they pick up some cards, some easier cards. So during this week is the week that I plan on having a lot of the one-on-ones with them when they have an easier week, and meeting with them, seeing how everything's going, seeing if there's any um, process improvements, anything that we need to work on. After that, oh well, I say that I'm prepping for Monday's meetings, so I'm going to schedule all the meetings for next week. I also schedule myself for meetups. So one thing that I like to do is still attend meetups. I like to continuously improve myself as a Scrum Master. I like to learn more about SAFe and SAFe as a Scrum Master. I'm basically still continuously trying to improve myself. So I do still attend those meetups. So I sign up for those every week, see if anything's new been added and all that. So I'm saying I'm prepping for Monday's meetings. So on Monday I have Scrum of Scrums. So Scrum of Scrums is with the other Scrum Masters. There's two other Scrum Masters, and then also the program manager, which I think that's the release train engineer, but it's a program manager. And then I have two project managers, or I also believe they call themselves portfolio managers, whatever. So Scrum of Scrums, we're having that. Um, During Scrum of Scrums, we go over a few different things. I know one of the things, of course, we'll talk about is PI planning that we just had this week. The format is normally completions, what has your team done since we last met, the next steps, what will your team do before we meet again, impediments, and then we also talk about process changes, resourcing, and Scrum of Scrum's backlog. One of the main things that I know that I will talk about is process improvement. They, not even the managers, it's almost like the VPs, they have a process improvement meeting, and then they have a process improvement like committee or process improvement approval. I don't know. But either way, there's some things that I need to submit to this committee. So that is something that I'm going to work on with my whole team. Another thing that I'll talk about in Scrum of Scrums, when I had PI planning yesterday, one of the things that came out is the person that I thought was my pro. One of the people things that I thought one of the people that I thought was my PO, she's not. So we need to figure out how we're going to clarify who the POs are, establish their roles. Um, they were trying to tell me one of the VPs was the PO, but the VP is actually a stakeholder. I don't know. So I need to prep for that. I need to get my points out because I want to be clear and concise when I talk about that. So that's going to be fun. And then I have a meeting for review of the PI planning. So we're going to have a meeting reviewing that. So that's another meeting that I'm going to have for sure on Monday. Another thing that I have on my to-do list for the day is to review the sprint backlog for the upcoming sprint. This is a sprint that we honestly is going to be really, really tight. The sprint that we're bringing in two developers from the other team to try to complete this sprint. So I forgot to. So I am going to review that sprint backlog. I'm going to make sure that the um, corporate initiatives that we spoke about in PI planning is on there. I'm going to review the cards. I'm going to try to make sure that everything is clear and concise. Make sure everything has the acceptance criteria in there. So I'm gonna go and do that and review those cards. And then one of the things that I plan on starting is a RACI chart. Once again, I'm new. I'm not sure who all I'm supposed to be working with. The organization is not really clear and established. Everything is not necessarily organized. It's not a traditional Scrum type of organization. They're trying to get there, and that's why they hired me. But at this point, we're just trying to go day by day and figure things out. So I'm going to do a RACI chart. I'm going to establish who's responsible, who's accountable, who's consultant, and who's informed. And I feel like if I do something like that and I'm talking to everybody with this chart, then a lot of those tasks and duties will be more clear and defined. So I'm going to start working on that tomorrow. Um, I do try to keep my schedule pretty open for Fridays. Even though I have all these tasks, I'm trying to get to the point where the team has quiet Fridays. But I'll still be here. I'll still be available. I'm still going to be working and reviewing things for now. But that is some of the things that I plan on doing tomorrow. Last week I was trying to do a day in the life of a Scrum Master, and I had my to-do list all written out, and it was so funny because all of the things that I had on that to-do list, I literally was not able to get one of those items done. At this organization, we just have our calendar open, and if you have an open space, people could put meetings into those spaces. Meetings pop up, things happen that I'm needed to attend the meeting. So a lot of times, people are just like, oh, we just facilitate and we, set schedules and we do this and that. No, a Scrum Master does so much more. And then this framework is flexible too. So even though, here's the defined roles of what a Scrum Master does, we of course do some other things. Maybe it's something that the organization needs you to step in and fill in this task. Um, I do know the person who was playing Scrum Master before I came, they were a micromanager, which does not fit the Scrum framework. A person being a micromanager does not help the team self manage. So that is something that I'm working on reversing. It's a process. It's all a process. And it has been a really crazy journey thus far. I'm looking forward to each day, each week in this position. I'm learning as much as I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to put together presentations to explain to people. One of the questions, I got when we were in PI planning from one of the developers, I'm like, okay, me and the manager are not going to be there. We're in PI planning. And they're like, okay, should we still have daily stand up? And I'm like, yes, of course. There's still things that need to be discussed. So just even small things like that, where I need to establish, hey, this is what daily stand up is really about. It's a meeting for the developers. So even if I'm not there, you still need to have the meeting. You still need to talk through your items and any impediments or dependencies. You also, go ahead and look at Jira. Do that. You need to, make sure that meeting happens regardless. So it's a lot going on, and it can be a lot, but I do enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. So last but not least on my list, I'm going to relax and refresh. It's the weekend. I am purchasing a new home, so I need to pack. I need to get everything organized. So when I click off on Friday afternoon, I'm clicking off. I'm not going to think about this. I'm not going to worry about anything. I do try to prepare and plan ahead, and that's why I'm saying I'm looking towards next week to see what I need to be ready for on Monday. I'm going to do that on Friday. So when I log off of my computer, I'm able to relax and refresh and then jump back in on Monday, with the same passion and enthusiasm that I have every day for this team. So, I know I talked about a lot. I know there's a lot going on. I am so interested to hear about some of your stories with some of your, I'm not going to say immature teams, but, teams that aren't as mature in Scrum as others. What are your stories? Do you have any questions? Do you have any suggestions? anything. I am honestly open to it. Just please comment, please like, please subscribe. And I look forward to recording another video soon. Thank you.